So, Chris, how big was that fish you caught?
Oh, I'd say it was probably about 10 knots.
What the hell is that?
It's complicated. Welcome back, DPReview TV viewers. It is Chris Nichols here, and I haven't showered in days. Luckily, you can't smell that at home. You're very fortunate. But why is that? Well, I'm up here in the beautiful Northwest Territories doing a project for Bow River Trout Fitters, the fly shop that I like to work for, and we are up at Elmer Lake Lodge. We're fishing for huge lake trout. It has been an awesome trip. But now we're back in the town of Yellowknife. I want to talk about the gear and the bag that I took to make this all happen. Now, when we're shooting up here in the tundra, the weather can be unpredictable. You got to be ready for anything. Overall, it was a very rugged test for the gear that we're taking up here. Okay, so let's start our What is in Chris Nichols gear bag, Northwest Territories fishing trip edition. So the bag that I chose to take was this Brevity, the Jumper Series backpack. Now, to be honest, when I first saw this backpack, to me it looked like a very sort of urban street style backpack, not made for rugged use. But I have been using it for a lot of the fishing trips around Alberta. It's actually stood up very well, but this would be the ultimate test. Now, a lot of things I love about this backpack, first off, for traveling on airplanes, it does still fit my 15.4-inch laptop, but it does also tuck really nicely as a carry-on under the seat. And I do really like that in a backpack that I'm going to take with me. Lots of storage space in the front here for all my chargers and accessories. You know, you've got nice divisible camera space with side access here or from the front as well. Lots of extra pouches. This backpack actually has stood up to a lot of rain when we're out here in Alberta because it does have a bit of a rainproof coating and kind of this weatherproof zipper on top. But I think it's important as a full disclaimer that Brevity does say these bags will absolutely stand up to some light rain, but they're not really made for serious inclement weather. And we absolutely did put this backpack through that. I mean, the main issue here is we've got water coming off the lake. We've also got water in the bottom of the boat, and the bottom of the bag's getting wet. And to its credit, although it did soak up some moisture, no water actually got inside to my gear, but it did need to be dried out in between our fishing trips. But I think if you're going to really do a lot of serious wet weather, I would look for a different kind of backpack if that's the case. Now, what did I choose as my main camera? Well, it's filming right now, so you can't see it, but look at this luxurious B-roll of it. I chose to take the OM System Olympus OM1 for two reasons. These cameras are incredibly rugged. They took all of the wet weather and the rain. It's raining right now, and it has no problem, so I really like that. But also, because of the OM1's computational photography capabilities, you know, having things like high-res shot or live ND or being able to have such a great image stabilizer with both the lens-based and sensor-based stabilization systems, it really mitigates the need to take a tripod with me. And if I'm going on an excursion like this up into the Arctic trying to fish, I've got fishing rods, I've got camera gear, I can't have a lot of other stuff, and tripods are one of the things that I really want to leave back at the lodge. Now, I also really love using the Olympus 12-100 f4. That's my go-to lens for these kind of things, so I don't have to worry about multiple lenses and changing them when I'm on the boat and, you know, outside in the outdoors. It gives me excellent range. It's still fast enough for what I need to do with it, and it takes 72mm filters, so it's easy to get on ND filters and polarizers. Let's talk about that next. Now, when I'm shooting the OM1, one thing that I really want to do is shoot OM log, and I got a lot of grading potential afterwards, but it also does force the ISO to 400. That's not a huge step, but I definitely want to use neutral density filters if I'm out shooting. As well, because we're fishing, we're shooting a lot of water, I often also want polarizing filter on there to help cut through any sort of glare and reflection. So one tool that worked really, really well for me was actually the brand new Haida variable ND and polarizer together. Now, Haida call this their Pro 2 circular polarizer / variable ND 2-in-1 filter, and it really does put everything that I need for our shoots in one filter. So I can adjust my ND levels anywhere from 3 to 7 stops, which is a perfect range for what we're usually shooting, but I also get that polarization effect just by rotating the red ring. And that's fantastic because, I mean, I need to be able to get the right shutter speeds, but also be able to see in the water to see those fish. And so I've been using this for a couple weeks, both in Alberta and then out here on the lake, and it's been fantastic. I only had one issue with this filter, and that's not Haida's fault, that's mine. Stepped on the bag, and it looks like I dented in the aluminum ring and broke off the lever that adjusts the ND. So absolutely, I would recommend putting this in a case, or really just don't step on your gear. Now, I did also bring in my camera bag a spare circular polarizer and ND filter. It was a good thing I did, but I really do love the convenience of this product. Now you might be thinking on a serious excursion like this where memory cards and getting your footage back home safely is paramount importance, I'd be using some really fancy weather sealed memory card holder, but that's not the case. I actually brought my vintage 8 memory card holder, which is made out of old 8mm reel holders. And this is fantastic because inside I get all of my accessories. I've got full-size SDs. It also holds my micro SDs, which I need for the drone. It's got a magnetic seal, and although there's no weather sealing, this did get fairly moist and it protected everything nicely. Plus, it's very stylish. Now, you may have seen me talking about these before, optical lens wipes. These are the greatest things ever. I mean, if you're traveling and you're only doing carry-on, which you do for a lot of press trips, you cannot take a whole bunch of liquids. That leaves lens sprays at home. These are Zeiss lens wipes that I'm using here on this trip. They're fantastic. You can, wash your hands with them. You can wash your lens with them. You can wash other parts of your body with them. Very useful when you haven't showered in multiple days. Always get these. They're the best. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is the sound equipment that I like to use up here. So first off, as a backup, I really do like the Rode Video Micro. It's an old standby, but it's a fantastic piece of kit. And it's also good if I've got multiple guys on the water I want to record, or I'm just trying to get ambient noises. So I always keep this around. Don't need extra batteries. It's really good. But although Jordan and I use different audio equipment for DPReview, for Bow River Troutfitters, I really like using the Sennheiser AVX kit that I have on me right now. Sennheiser, the audio might sound a little bit more tinny on voices, but I still like the audio quality, excellent range, but most importantly, it stands up to a lot of abuse. Now, we're always using a little fuzzy dead mouse, dead kit, whatever you want to call it, because we're often wearing sweaters or rain jackets or waders, and that'll make a lot of noise with something you put underneath. So this is definitely fantastic. It still handles wind. We don't get any rubbing on clothing. And one more side benefit to the Sennheiser AVX kit, with this little dead mouse here, if I'm out in lake and I run out of flies and I need to catch a big lake trout, I could feasibly put a bear hook through this little dead mouse here, and if you look at a regular mouse pattern, pretty similar, I'm sure it would catch a fish. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little what's in my gear bag edition for the Northwest Territory fishing trips. We had a fantastic time out here. Please do leave comments below. Let us know what you think, or if you have any questions about our trip, absolutely ask that. I'd love to answer that for you. Otherwise, do check out our Twitter and Instagram. It's there below. And, next time you'll see me and Jordan back together again. He hates fishing anyways. He would not have enjoyed himself on this trip. So don't worry, we'll be back together soon. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe. Please like to the channel. We'll see you soon for another episode of DPReview TV.